Make no mistake about it, Santiago Gimenez is the real fucking deal. While his move to Forest is up in the air at the time of recording due to ongoing negotiations with Arsenal's Eddie Nketiah, I reckon this will be one of the best transfers of the summer if it does end up going through. For those of you unfamiliar with the center forward, he's a Mexican international who came through Cruz Azul's academy, a club which are amongst the 4 biggest in the country. He made his debut for them as a 16-year-old and helped them end the 23-year league title drought a few years later with impressive cameos off the bench. Given Gimenez was born in Argentina, there were murmurs he could switch allegiances after being called up to their under-20 squad off the back of eye-catching performances at club level, but he remained loyal to Mexico, stating it's the place where he felt most at home. While Gimenez opted to stay put on the international stage, he earned a move to Dutch giants Feyenoord in 2022, and it's fair to say it's been a hugely successful couple of seasons for him in the Netherlands. Despite being over 6 feet tall and broad-shouldered, Gimenez initially struggled with the physicality and high-intensity press in Europe. The club quickly identified this and rationed his minutes accordingly. He started just 4 league games up until the World Cup in Qatar and did not complete a full 90 minutes in a single one of them. However, staying back in Rotterdam and doing work on the training pitch did wonders for him, as he ended up finishing top scorer in his first season with the club under the management of new Liverpool head coach Arne Slot, and proved to be a talismanic figure in the club's second league title victory in 24 years. His second season was even more prolific, as he bagged 26 goals to go with 8 assists, which saw him surpass Luis Suarez's record tally of 30 goals and assists way back in 2009. That being said, there's a caveat to the numbers. Much of Gimenez's end product came in the first half of the season, where he looks set to match the sort of figures we've become accustomed to seeing from the likes of Ronaldo and Messi. After the turn of the year, however, you could be forgiven for thinking he was more like Emil Heskey, as he only found the back of the net 5 times in 2024. Nevertheless, he played an instrumental role in Feyenoord's Dutch Cup victory, and they started the season like a house on fire, so a blip in form from a young player like himself can be forgiven. Perhaps Mexican fans are a little less kind, as truth be told, he's done fuck all for his country. So much so that his father, who is also a professional footballer, essentially called him shite on air while working as an analyst for Fox Sports. He has just 4 goals in 30 appearances and looks a shadow of the forward that he's shown he can be in Europe. However, the same logic applies to several other players. Victor Osimhen, for instance, has become one of the most highly sought after strikers in Europe for what he's achieved at Napoli, but the lad couldn't hit a barn door for Nigeria. Similarly, as I'm sure you all remember, Miroslav Klose couldn't stop scoring for Germany, but did next to nothing for all the clubs he represented, so it's fair to say progression isn't always linear when it comes to playing for your club and country. Not to mention that Mexico are currently a poor team in general, and not giving Gimenez the service that he requires to thrive. After all, this is a man who scored a hat-trick against Ajax away a few months ago, which is not something you see happen every day. Stylistically, Gimenez is an out-and-out number 9 who embodies the role of a poacher. His lethal left foot, burst of acceleration, and remarkable agility make him a handful for any defender in the world. And when you couple that with his relentless drive to compete, you've got yourself a talent who can get to the very top. His proficiency in the 18-yard box is also undeniable, whether it be tap-ins, long-range pile drivers, headers, or deft finishes. The kid has got it all in his locker. Perhaps the most impressive aspect of Gimenez's play is his movement. His intelligence shines through in every run he makes, and you'll often find him drifting into the half spaces between center backs and fullbacks to create room for himself or his teammates. As mentioned earlier, the only worry with Gimenez is his consistency. While I do believe that's something he'll iron out with age, blowing hot and cold is something he can ill afford to do in English top-flight football for very long. Ultimately, much of Gimenez's success will depend on how Forest look after him off the pitch. By all accounts, the guy's from a deeply religious background and needs to be surrounded by a tight and stable unit in order to thrive. Coaches say he's more likely to be found in art galleries or museums in his free time as opposed to on the couch playing FIFA like most players his age, and therefore Nuno's man management will be paramount to success or failure in the Premier League. Personally, I really hope this move goes through, because I've been following Gimenez for the best part of 2 years and believe he has what it takes to become a household name in English football. I hope you found this useful, and I'll catch you in the next one, folks. Peace.